Interchange was commissioned by President Akufo-Addo sometime in July this year. Well, many of the residents here were excited when it was commissioned because it reduced the travel time and reduced the traffic congestion usually in this part of town. A resident we've been speaking to witnessed how the unscrupulous persons stole the crash barriers.
We encountered some people, about 5 people with a truck, and they were working on it. We thought they were working on it. It was at dawn, around 5:30. When we were coming from the church. Yeah. So when we met them, we didn't ask them anything because we thought they were part of the contractors that are working or engineers that are working on the road. So we passed by, but as soon as we got to the entrance of our gate, we saw them moving the car, that means leaving. But we realized that they have removed the thing from that end, where the last metallic pillar is, to the last end there, where they have, fixed the new ones. So they moved. We were here 3 days later. I saw some of the workers in the afternoon walking around and, looking at what has taken place. So I confronted them and asked them, I have kids here who used to, play around, and I have asked you people to do this for us. And now that you have helped us with it, you have come back to remove it. And the guy told me they were not the people who came to remove it, but it was rather strange people who came in to steal. And I was surprised, because the way they did the thing, you will not suspect them of stealing. And they did it professionally, because the dressing and the way they were walking will not make you suspect anything.
Yeah, we heard they were wearing reflectors.
Yeah, they were wearing reflectors. Reflectors, and some of them were wearing overall, like workers.
Resident engineer of the Pokuase Interchange, Engineer Kwabena Boampong, says the crash barriers that were stolen are valued at a total cost of $3,500. He says they've already picked up signals that some unscrupulous persons want to steal some streetlights on the interchange too.
We observed that about 10 sections of our crash barrier had been stolen or removed by unauthorized or unknown persons, and this is about 40-meter length. And we then proceeded to report to the police, after some time. And you asked about the costs. Presently, it's about $3,500 US. There is an operation or modus operandi of those who steal these streetlights, and what they do is that they start by tampering with the connections, and that virtually plunges the whole system, or the whole road into darkness. And then sometimes they come under the cover of darkness to remove the luminaries, or you can see them in broad daylight removing these luminaries. And we had seen some signs which presupposes that there are plans to do that, and that is why we have come public. But
So you've seen signs that some people want to steal the streetlights?
Exactly so, because we've seen the covers opened, and in some cases the switches have been turned off, and this has alerted us to the operations of this syndicate who have done similar things on other roads. The Gifford Road, they have been to the that is the N1 on the N1 itself, which is part of the motorway from Tema to Accra. Yeah. So once we say this, we want to caution the public to be on the lookout.
Yeah. We understand sometimes they even wear reflectors, so you think they are workers.
Yeah, exactly so. You see them in reflectors, and even for the street light, they come with let me explain. You see them in that conveyor that takes them up, okay, and they will be removing the street lights. Yes, so you might think that they work for the contractor, but these people sometimes do not work for the contractor.
Wow. Finally, what do you think can be done about this situation?
Well, I think that I have said elsewhere that policing is a shared responsibility. If any of us see people who looks suspicious, there's a need for us to ask questions. I think that where we always think that, oh, these people, or we assume that these people are working for the contractor or for the road ministry, I think that we should begin to question people. You know, if they have ID cards, we want to see them. If we want to take pictures, and look, I have done that. Okay, I have done that on projects where I see somebody, I ask you, where are you coming from? He says, oh, this man says I should do it. I say, okay, if this man says I want to take a picture of you, and then they become, you know, jittery. Once they become jittery, then that should tell you that these people have not been mandated or sanctioned to do whatever they are doing, and they could be thieves. You know, there are these scrap dealers who go around stealing manhole covers. You put a manhole which is supposed to protect, you know, both pedestrians and motorists, and then they go stealing them. You know, so this is something that I would want the public to be on the lookout. And of course, our enforcement agencies, the police, and all who are involved in security, the national security, should be on the lookout for such people.